Alright, let's get this burlap off your head, why don't we? Probably pretty itchy, isn't it? There you are. Wow, what do you know? Quite a lovely face you've got hidden under there. Couldn't see it too well in the dark. Just the glimmerings of some shimmery little stuffs in your satchel. I just knew I had to get a closer look at. And here we are. Come on now, come on. Hush, 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 hush. Don't make me cover your mouth. I hate doing that. Getting slobber all over my nice fabrics. I know neither of us want that. No, no, no. You'll just have to be good. I trust you'll manage. But I do refuse to afford the same trust to your limbs that I do to your tongue. You're one of the sneaky ones, I can already tell. The moment my gaze is averted, you'll be gone in a blink. That's alright. I much prefer your sneaky type over the loud ones. Flabbergasted at their predicament. What are you doing? Who do you think you are? That's my stuff. You can't take that. Honestly, sir, let's gather some context clues, why don't we? Okay, I'm just going to wrap this around your back and tie that over the chest. Good, good, good. Wrists. Okay, I'm going to wrap that around. Loop that twice. Nice and snug. Not too tight, I hope. Okay. That should do the trick. Don't think you'll be going anywhere. Ah, please do all the admiring you like. I do so love to be flattered by your amazement. I have a tendency to hoard my findings like a greedy little dragon instead of selling them off as quick as possible like the rest of them do. Definitely the wiser way. Good to be rid of the evidence. Can't have the crime of stealing pearls linked back to you if you have no pearls in your possession, only coin. But I just love admiring my collection and admiring you admiring my collection. How could I possibly want to be rid of any of it? Hush, 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 hush. Come now. Believe me, you don't want any of the others to hear you. You have no idea how lucky you are that I'm the one who spotted and snatched you up tonight. Any of the rest of them, and you certainly wouldn't be having this pleasant conversation. Any conversation for that matter. Fortunately for you, I'd find it terribly boring to just off you on sight. No, you're no use to me dead, no use at all. Most everyone has something to offer, connections and whatnot. You'll just have to hope that you have some favor to give that holds more value to me than whatever belongings you have on you. Sounds fair enough, doesn't it? I think so. Let's have a look at the treasures you've got hidden inside your satchel and see how much worth it's all got. If you can come up with something you can do for me that has more value than all that stuff, you can keep everything, I promise. But if you don't have enough sway around here to pull off something worthwhile for me, I'm afraid I will be taking it all, including the satchel itself. It's really quite nice. Yes, you useless at defending yourself, but at least the sense of style is sorted. And if you have any protest to this frankly overly generous deal of mine, I'm afraid I'll just have to be rid of you. I don't think either of us really want that, do we? I don't want my coat getting stained. I'm sure you're enjoying being intact and all, so I don't harm you. You don't get harmed. It's a win-win. So, where exactly are you headed to? That's so important. You had to risk crossing through Agramar. Uh-huh. visiting your uncle. Alright. And what does he do? A professional pumpkin unpulper, I see. Terrible liar we've got on our hands. Why are you weaving tall tales about where you're going? As if I'm going to what? Follow you? Why would I bother? You don't think I look like I've got anything better to do? Unless, of course, you're headed back west to your residence. In that case, I don't have anything better to do at all. Maybe you've got a nice one. Pretty cottage full of nice jewelry, nice furs, coats, coin. Although, by the looks of you, no, you haven't got a nice home at all. Probably a sad little shack out in the woods, full of dirt and unwelcome creatures, awfully drafty, rain leaking through the roof, drip, drip, drip. By how worn out you look, I bet you've been away from home a long while. If I showed up there now, I'd be late to the festivities. Whatever humble belongings you once had there, I bet they've already been picked over more than a few times since you left. All that's there now, maybe a rusty pot or pan, your frail old cat. But the good stuff's long gone. But you don't seem cheery enough for someone headed home at long last. No, you seem apprehensive. A touch of dread even, although I suppose that lack of enthusiasm could be easily explained by your being at the wrong end of my knife, more than likely about to lose every last one of your belongings. So then, you must be headed north. I wonder what business you have there. Guess we'll find out soon enough with a peruse of your possessions. Or rather, I should say my possessions. I think that's got a much better ring to it. You can tell quite a lot by what someone's carrying with them. Let's find out what you're all about. Hefty bit of coin you've got here. Who the hell do you work for, the Queen? I don't care too much for coin, to be honest with you. I have far more interest in anything rarer that you've got, but this certainly won't hurt. I think this would look pretty nice right here. Let's see what we've got next. Just don't really care too much for it. First, any jewelry perhaps? Some sort of protective bracelet, looks like. Shame you weren't wearing it at the right time. These tend to be energy draining, so picking the perfect time, quite tricky. That'll do nicely. Maybe over here. A baleen bone dagger. Seems to have violetic enchantment. As much as I would love to take the time to admire it properly, with an enchantment like that, better get it back in the sheath with haste before it finds a new home in my side. Pouch of stunning powder. Someone's come well prepared. Shame you couldn't splash a dash of this stuff my way. Pretty crimson dust throws would-be attackers into a confused confused stupor, right? Wonder where you got this stuff. Takes pretty powerful magic to enchant. As I'm sure you can imagine, I'll find it extremely useful. I would already have buckets full if not for the fact that the witches around these parts are less than fond of me. Tricky to get my hands on anything magic. But it turns out they are apparently fond of you. Teach me your charms, why don't you? Your beguiling ways. I bet the first step is that you aren't a rotten little hooligan stirring up trouble, right? No one likes a thief. Not witches, especially. Goes against their principles, codes, oaths, something like that. Those who own the most precious treasures do tend to be most staunchly opposed to the prospect of losing them. Steal from a witch, you might as well have prayed for hellfire itself. Got the burns to prove it. It does, admittedly, bode quite well for you. You've apparently got some witchy connections. Maybe that's the key to you getting to keep your things. You could get this mysterious witch of yours to fashion me something special. Some enchanted pickpocketing gloves, perhaps. Victims would never feel the touch of them. Some hastened shoes could effortlessly outrun any adversary. I don't know, if you're some sort of pet they look fondly upon, they would have my head for trifling with you. Can't have you going and tracing them back to me, so no, that won't work. Looks like a vial of sugared herbs. Must drop tea shop, right? Delightful stuff. Goes wonderfully in any tea, ale. Even makes water pretty special. I'd love to have this. Some sort of herbal protective charms. I'm not familiar with this sort. They do seem to be expertly crafted. Wonder what sort of flora are hidden inside, what kind of properties they hold. Well, in any case, they look gorgeous. I think these will do nicely over by my buttons. Well, I'll be. This is my hat. I do realize there is no shortage of green wool and leather strip hats in this world, but I know this one to be mine for certain, given the distinct bite mark tucked away just here in the underbrim. Where did you find this? The Babblebrook Inn. I suspected I might have left it there. Silly me. I was in such a hurry. Wasn't minding my P's and Q's, not one bit. I'd intended to stay for several nights, but as I was headed out to the moss drop one afternoon for a bit of tea, I spotted this gorgeous purple coat hanging on the rack by the entrance and tucked away in the pocket, glimmering as if it was calling my name. This engraved copper pocket watch, I couldn't resist snatching it, but just as my hand was enveloped in the pocket, said coat's owner arrived most unhappily. I got out of there fast, and in my haste must have outrun my favorite hat. Babblebrook Inn is one of my favorite snatching spots. Agramar works great most of the time. Plenty of opportunities to hold up passing merchant carriages. And if I'm feeling particularly bold, what I can manage to snatch before they kick me overboard. I know just where to look. You know, my specialty is floorboards. Bet you've never heard that one before. With a trained eye like mine, a single glance will reveal exactly which floorboard is amiss. Which one, with a quick flick of the finger, will flip to reveal treasures untold. I don't even have any secret methods, really. Just a knack for it is all. I suspect that skill is no small part why this under-the-bridge bunch even puts up with me. I can be quite a handful, if you haven't noticed. Sticking my nose where it doesn't rightly belong, committing risky kidnappings when they would all say I should have just grabbed your satchel and ran for the hills. For the den, rather. But this way yields far greater results, both in terms of my personal entertainment and the more tangible rewards I tend to receive. Not too long ago, I stole away a young lady whose older brother was a skilled welder. In exchange for getting to keep her things, she afforded me his services. Had the chain of my ship-boarding hook lengthened quite considerably, allowing me to board larger vessels, and from a more generous distance. Certainly wouldn't have gotten anything like that from just grabbing her hat and her bag and running away quick as I could. What were you doing at the Bowerbrook Inn, anyway? Come on, you can tell me. Your earthly possessions aren't safe here, but your secrets certainly are. Fine, suit yourself. I will gladly carry the burden of conversationalist. It's been terribly lonely lately in this dark little den. The beasts about here have been getting feistier by the day. No one wants to travel these woods anymore for fear of them. People start traveling on one side, never to emerge from the other. Something's in the air, you know, I can smell it. Can't you? Some sort of shifty mists. A strange magic is at play. It's not good for the creatures. Doubtless us neither. I think it's coming from the kingdom. The smoke. It's hard to tell, but it seems to be billowing out from that way, don't you think? Whatever they're burning, it's ruining the forests, turning formerly peaceful beings completely rabid. Magic tends to have unintended effects on animals, different from the effects that it has on humans. Not to mention animals can't carry protective charms to help shield them from it like we can. Most people are too stubborn to protect themselves anyway. I'm trying to convince these old sods to carry something, anything, to shield them from whatever's been lurking in the air. But they think I'm crazy. Even though people have been going missing, some seem to be more susceptible to it than others. I've seen it happen. They seem compelled to wander into the woods and disappear. Something's pulling them. Some sort of invisible thread. I suspect it's got something to do with that rotten queen. I wouldn't even be in this mildewy hole in the ground if not for her orders to have my village torched to the ground. My people refused to bow to her demands, to halt their use of magics. She's no right making such commands. How have you managed to find your way safely through these woods? I can't believe I didn't notice it. These little puffs emerging from your ears. Notorious side effect of the Shade Seeker potion. That does well to explain how you've made it this far. Let's see what else you've got in here. A gorgeously tailored outfit made of suspiciously delicious fabrics for someone of your rugged look. I suppose goes wherever you're headed. You must be meeting with someone of high esteem, high status, some member of nobility. So you must be going to Lancaster. I didn't dare believe it, but perhaps you are this rogue adventurer I've heard rumors swirling about, that you might be standing up to the Queen. Well, either way, I know precisely what you can do for me while you're in Lancaster. Yes, you've grown on me in this short time we've spent together in my den. Phenomenal listener, you are. Truly exceptional. Even I did demand it of you at knife point, but I appreciate it regardless. Besides, I've seen in your face that you've been participating in our little chat quite dutifully, behind the eyes, and thanks to this rapport of sorts we've established, I'm eager to let you keep your things, and I mustn't get in the way of some grand regicidal plot if that truly is what you're up to. But still, you must earn it. Our deal will unfold as follows. I will draw you up a map leading to the Impressio Lapurum, where all the inky things of the city are drawn up, printed, and pressed, namely my wanted posters, plastered over every last remotely flat surface within 50 miles of here. I rip them down whenever I see them, but I just can't keep up. The Lapurum won't stop making more. It's like a goddamn hydra. It's terribly inconvenient when I can't pickpocket crowns without someone spotting a poster, matching it to me, and then it's a whole chase. I've got to run as fast as I can with a pack of guards tailing me through town, through the woods. I've got to scramble up a tree to finally get away and hide. I'm gonna get splinters. I am sick and tired of the splinters. So, you'll be a dear and take care of this for me, right? Good. I need you to sneak in. I need you to locate the original print and order form directing them to continue producing more, steal them, and burn them. Without the print, they won't be able to keep making copies. And without the order form, they won't know that they're still supposed to. They'll assume I've finally been apprehended and move on to their countless other duties, I'm sure. I suppose they'll start returning your belongings. Goodbye, my precious. Now that I know you're going to Lancaster, I must know how you mean to get there. You can't possibly intend to continue on foot the entire way. You'll never make it. So, you must have plans to sneak onto the back of some carriage or wagon. A ship. Oh, so that's why you've come to the bridge. The Tanglewood one, right? Unfortunately, it does not stop here anymore. No, not since the creatures started getting feisty. The Adderbellies especially. Without a chance to sneak on board while they're stopped, you'll need to employ my methods. Yes, my hook. Don't ask me why I'm placing such a trust in you. I don't rightly know. But you'll need to get a running start when the helm is about 3 meters downriver. Take a daring leap. Hope and pray that your hook will find its home in the brim, and hoist yourself on board stealthily. An exceptionally difficult task. Took me years to master it. I have very little faith that you'll make it, but everything's worth a try in my book. Besides, you have a certain determination about you that convinces me you just might be able to do anything. We can't have the others spotting you before it's time for you to go, so you'll sleep